Hi, good to see you again. I recently purchased an electric scooter and today the sun was shining, it was 20 degrees, and so I took it for a spin around the streets of Budapest and it was fabulous. But I did get splashed by a couple of vehicles. There'd been some rain at some point in the night, I guess, and the road was still wet. Pour, splash, sprinkle, spray, and maybe some others as well. Pour is nice and easy. We take a jug full of liquid and I pour myself a drink. I take a bottle of wine and I pour myself a glass of wine. I don't really drink, so I don't do that. But you get the idea. From one container to another container, I pour it. When I go to the pub, I ask the bar person for a pint of beer and they pour me a pint. Again, I don't do that, I don't drink, but you get the idea. Pour. Splash. As with any vocabulary, we can look these words up in the dictionary and see what the dictionary says. Unfortunately, it's not always so clear from the dictionary what on earth it's talking about. Splash is something in the dictionary, I don't remember exactly, but something like for a liquid to strike or hit a surface in an irregular pattern. Yeah, that doesn't really tell me the differences between splash and sprinkle and spray and pour and others. For me, splash is often the movement up and sideways or just horizontal. It's an onomatopoeic word. It sounds like the word it is. Splash. Perhaps, maybe. When I go to the swimming pool and I jump in, the water splashes. If I don't like the person I'm with, I hit my hand on the water and it splashes in their face. And then they don't come with me ever again. Oops. If I don't like my brother, I might put my fingers into some water and flick the water into his face and I splash him. It's not a lot of water and it doesn't have to be for splash, but that movement and that impact and that irregular pattern helps with the idea of splash. However, if I dip my fingers back in that water and I simply hold my hand above his head and wiggle my fingers, wait, am I doing liquid or is that a stalagmite? Stalagmite, stalactite. Gosh, if you don't know those words, you'll really wonder what I'm talking about in this video now. If I dip my fingers in some liquid and I gently wiggle them around above his head, I sprinkle water onto him. When I make a pizza, I take some cheese and I sprinkle that cheese on top, or some herbs on top of my pasta. We have sprinkler systems in businesses and apartments. Sprinkle is usually a small drop of something or a small amount of something. It doesn't have to be liquid. I mentioned cheese and herbs. Splash, pour, sprinkle. What about spray? Way back when I was a teenager, and a cool teenager I was. And if you knew me then, perhaps you'll comment and explain how I really wasn't very cool. I grew my hair really quite long. And at some point, I don't remember when or how or the exact hairstyle, but I used hairspray. Pretty much a whole can every time I went out. My hair was solid. You could have built a house on my hair. It was that hard. There are not so many photos around, fortunately, that show that. Spray. Spray is often when liquid comes out under pressure, under force of something. If I have a hole in my water pipe, a small hole, water might spray out of it, and spray is often from a small hole to a wide area. When I water the garden, I use a hose to water the garden. If I want some added pressure, I might pop my thumb over the end of the hose so that the water is coming out under pressure and it comes out of a small hole into a wide area. The water sprays out. Quite fun in the summer. Pour, splash, sprinkle, stalactite, stalagmite. Gosh, I think stalactite for down. Pour, splash, sprinkle, and spray. There are other words, and if you have some, of course, jot them down. I mean, if, for example, if you want to ask me about the verb to squirt, and I'm not doing it now, but if you ask me about that, I am going to get my water pistol and squirt you with some water. Hey, maybe you've got some other words that mean sprinkle, splash, spray, pour, squirt. Add them in the comments. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Have a fabulous Sunday afternoon, and I will catch you again soon. Bye-bye.